You are welcome to this virtual classroom, which is NSC 304. Like you have been introduced to this course before, it has to do with two basic things, which are nursing ethics and jurisprudence. It simply means that in this course, you will learn about ethics of nursing profession as well as what the law says about nursing and what is that thing that connects nursing and the law together. How can you practice your profession with you avoiding litigations while you are doing your normal duties? You will see that the component of this course cut across a lot of circles, which includes you learning about the values, you learn about morality, you learn about nursing ethics itself, you learn about the conduct of nurses in the society. Now we take you to learning about the law. With this, you will understand the fact that every nurse must have the basic knowledge of ethical conduct that surrounds the practice of nursing profession. You will see that when you are discussing value, you are just trying to see what and what you place your interest in. What you cherish most is what they call value. And the way you place what you cherish most depends on how much you cherish that particular thing. So when you talk of value, you place it on every object based on the level you attach to it, the love you have for it. You will see that in your manual, we gave an example that if you have a jewelry that you are bought for, let's say 500 naira, you may keep it on the table in your living room or on the shelf. But if you have a gold, which is also a jewelry, that you are purchased for like 50,000 naira, you know where you will keep it. It means you attach more value to that because it is worth more than that of 500 naira. How much value do you put on nursing profession? It is the value that you place on it that makes you to understand the fact that you should have adequate education to practice nursing profession. It is that value that takes you to joining BNSC program so that you will have more knowledge and attach more importance to the service you are rendering to your patient. Not only that, you value the way by which people see you and recognize you in terms as nurses. So those are things that you place value on. That is why you are a nurse. So when you talk of ethics, ethics at times has to do with the way that profession is regulated, the do's and don'ts that were attached to that profession. this what fit him. So, and normally it says that it must not cause any harm on that patient. So also you have an area of confidentiality whereby patient information should not be released to the public just anyhow. It could just be discussed with those people that have input into his care in the hospital. And somebody will just sit down somewhere and start discussing the patient's confidential information. So these are regulated by nursing ethics. You don't divulge patient information because it is secret and very confidential. Apart from that, you have justice. Justice means the way you treat Mr. A in clinical setting. When you see an honorable who is brought to your hospital now, all of you will leave everything you are doing and we follow him and you do everything he wants. See ordinary people, you treat them just ordinary. That is not ethical in nursing profession. To treat everybody the same manner and make sure you attach resources available to everybody to benefit from, not just for a section of the patient. So these and many more are what the ethics of nursing is built upon. And everybody should familiarize himself or herself with these ethics for you to practice your profession right. And like I said, the slides are prepared by the second lecturer who will come up to give you detail of this lecture on the slide he has prepared for it. I'm just giving you a lowdown of what the course is all about. And let me just tell you that when you come into the law regulating this profession, there are a lot of laws. And this law we have to do with those one regulated by ethics and those one that regulated by society itself, because nurses practice profession to the society. And that society demands a lot from nurses. And those laws must be given to the society. That is why nursing cannot be practiced with band. If anybody had joined the profession, you have to put it in mind, those laws, and make sure you don't act in contrary to the dictate of those laws. You are a nurse because you have been trained to provide safe care to your patient. And as such, any care you provide that falls short of that safe care is found to be professional misconduct, and it attracts penalty in the hand of law. That is why we have to discuss negligence as a basis for professional misconduct. When you say negligence, it simply means the act of doing what a reasonable man will not do, or act of not doing what a reasonable man would do when found in the same circumstances. For example, if I may ask you, you see a patient who is on temperature and is gasping. As a reasonable nurse, you take care of the Gatsby first. Provide adequate oxygen and let him start breathing well before you talk of tepesponging. But other nurse on the other side may decide to do tepesponging first. And before you know it, patient is gone. That means you are doing something, but you are not doing the right thing. It is negligence. It is not only when you are not doing anything that they say you are found of negligence. It is when you are doing something that a reasonable man will not do at that point in time. So in that wise, it is something that everybody needs to understand with that definition, that negligence is doing what a reasonable man will not do, or act of omitting what a reasonable man will do in the same circumstances you find yourself. And what forms the basis for negligence? The first thing is that as a nurse, you owe everybody that comes under your care a duty of care. The duty you are promising as a nurse is that you will give him adequate and safe care. So anything beside that is the act of negligence. So duty of care is the first stand in negligence as. Now, if that duty of care is breached, second leg is now breach of that duty of care, meaning that you have not given that patient adequate care as expected. So you have breached, you have caused a breach. So that breach of duty of care is the second leg of that negligence. The third leg is that that breach you have committed will now lead to a damage on that patient. So that damage has come up as a result of the breach. Because you have failed to do what you're supposed to do, patient has now suffered a damage. So that damage is the third leg of negligence. So the three legs must come together before you can be charged for negligence. For example, if you have a patient who is very restless and is brought into your care, for duty of care, you need to foresee that this patient is restless. If it's placed on the couch, he can fall down from this couch and sustain further injury. It is now left for you to see how you can prevent him from falling off the couch. That prevention you are taking care of is your duty of care. A reasonable nurse will place that patient on the couch and put the side rails up so that it will not fall down. Or if there is no couch with side rails, he will nurse the patient on the floor so that he will not sustain further injury. But if that duty of care is breached by not nursing him on the couch with side rails or on the floor, eventually you have breached that duty and patient has now fallen down from the couch. When he fall down from the couch, what happens? He sustained head injury, sustained fracture, which means that fracture or head injury he has sustained is as a result of you not performing your duty of care as expected. So you can see what they call negligence now. So there should be one, duty of care, two, breach of that duty, and three, damages that result from that breach you have committed. So the three angles must be there. In some textbooks, they say the fourth angle is there. And the fourth angle they mention that is that damage caused by to the patient could have come up if not for your negligence, if not for your breach of duty of that care. So in that way, this one is what exactly translates into professional misconduct. This is what the court of law will take up as negligence on the part of a nurse. And when this case is being taken care of by the court of law, there are things they will look into before they can arrive at this. So with this, the second lecturer has come with the slide, and it will start the lecture now. I will mute myself and stop this video so that they can start the lecture. Thank you very much. Mr. Ali, you can start, please.
Mr. Adeleke, you can continue. I think it's having network issue. When he come back online, I will call your attention.
And like I told you before, that it has to do with nursing ethics and jurisprudence. And this slide was prepared to assist you getting some notes down, because this course has been taken fully in your manual, and you have enjoyed it much on the online lecture you have received. Stated here that nursing practice has attained status that ethics and jurisprudence govern it. Ethics and law are necessary in nursing because nursing is concerned with providing services that have impact on human life and health. This standard must therefore be set to guide the nurse to conduct himself properly, make adequate decisions, and carry out actions that are appropriate. And like I said, there is sanctity of human life, which everybody must protect. Human life must not be taken just through anybody's carelessness. I must be questioned or be queried if it happens as such. So because we are protecting human life and protecting their health, everybody must practice the profession with utmost concern for human health and human life. Next slide, please. So I've talked to you about value, belief, and attitudes. I say how you say value. is a thing you are freely choosing, enduring belief or attitude about the worth of a person, object, idea, or action. If I may ask you, is there anybody who may not value his life? Virtually none. And this is why we are placing so much value on people's health and people's life. And the way and manner we deal with these two things will give us adequate reason why we should not play with these two elements, both their health and their life. Belief is an interpretation or conclusion that you accept to be true. It's based on faith and may not be true. So with this, it means everybody has its own belief, and that belief must also be guided. It is based on their faith, and that faith has to be respected. You don't enforce your own faith or belief on anybody. If a Christian nurse is nursing a Muslim patient, you don't tell the patient that he has to be praying, or vice versa. If a man comes to you that is a Jehovah's Witness, he does not want blood, you cannot enforce that blood on him, because through his belief, he makes to realize the fact that he doesn't take blood and you don't give blood by force. Also, attitude and mental positions or feelings towards a person, object, or idea. You have to create an attitude that everybody will like in a nurse. So the value we have are of many types. We have theoretical value, we have economic value, aesthetic value, social value, political value, and religious value, of course. When you say you have theoretical value, it means everything you are doing is guided by principle and theories. When you say you have economic value, it means you have value for your money. You don't just spend money without you knowing what that money is being spent on. So that is what they call economic value. You are not prodigal, you are not a miser. So you are in between the two. You have value for whatever you spend your money on. That parent come to you now to pay for services, he must get back that services he has paid for. That means he put economic value in place. When you say aesthetic value, it means people like beauty. You like clean environment. Social value means you like interaction with people. Some people are isolated, while some people like to be with people, in the midst of people. Not in this era of COVID-19 anyway, when being with people have become criminal and people have social distancing. So you can see, then you have political value. Whether we like it or not, we play it or we don't play it. Anywhere we find ourselves, we play politics one way or the other. So those who have political value, we always want to be in position one way or the other. And those who have religious value will tell you they don't play with their religion. Anything you want to do, don't tamper with my religion. So they place value on that religion. Okay, next slide, please. So how will you develop value? Value are formed over a lifetime through information from the environment, family, and society. You are not, when you are born, you are not born with any value, except the value of the family you belong to. But as you grow, as you are growing in that family, there are things you start learning from them. There are things you start seeing from the environment. There are some experiences you will have that is inculcated into the value system of your own being. But as nurses, our value occur during socialization into nursing profession. Whatever you had before and be remodeled by the value of nursing profession itself, because you will learn many things there that must change your value through your education and through the time you clarify your value with that of your patient. I don't think we call value clarification. That is, when you identify your own value, you see your patient value, and you are trying to balance in between the two, because you cannot enforce your own value on your patient. So you must be able to balance that value. The value, for example, now you see a Catholic sister who is a nurse, they don't want to hear anything about abortion. They now bring a patient who has committed abortion to the unit where she's working. By their own standard, they don't have anything to do with anybody's abortion. They say, no, I cannot treat her, I cannot come to anybody's abortion, I can't even come near. But that value must not be imposed on that patient. The best thing you can do is to find somebody else who will take care of that patient if you know you cannot. But the value does not allow you to reject that patient because he has committed abortion. It needs your services. That is why it's with you at a particular point in time. And because you have received a call as a nurse, you must just find the means of providing that services. So the value you have as a nurse was not an innate value. It was acquired through training you have undergone to become a nurse. So you are not born with value. Just have that in mind. No one is born with value. You learn value through socialization. You do that in primary, in secondary, and tertiary. Primary is at home with your parents. Secondary is when you start entering the school and you start messing with people from different walks of life. And tertiary is when you are into the world and you are seeing a lot of people you are interacting with. So that is how you will acquire value. So it is not an innate thing. You are not born with value. Yeah. Next slide, please. Next slide. So you have essential nursing value, which are specific and are stated in nursing code of ethics. They are specific. They are called nursing values because they are specific to nursing practice. So these are outlined in 4 basic ways. You have 1, strong commitment to service. 2, belief in dignity and worth of every individual that comes your way as your client. Commitment to education. That is why you are here, to get more education and become a graduate nurse. And then you have professional autonomy. Autonomy means that you are not a subject to anybody's direction, that you want to have a stance whereby you can decide nursing care by yourself for your patient that will bring out unexpected results. So that is why they say you have autonomy. Autonomy for nursing profession was won in 1979 in IAP award that says nursing profession is a profession sui generis. That is, profession that is subject to no control by any other profession because it forms an integral part of our health system. Yeah, next slide. You must have in mind those 4 values. We talk of morality, and let me just say that when you are studying behavioral science, you are told that some of these things have their basic foundation. You have some things they call taboo, we have folkways, we have mores, we have norm, then we have law. So when you talk of mores, it's something that's considered moral. But when you say something is moral, it means it is a standard that distinguishes between right and wrong. But what is right in one society may not be right in another society. So that morality depends on where you come from. But it takes place in conduct, in character, and attitude. So what is right and between what is right and what is wrong, what they call moral. And let me say that morality is a step towards norm. But morality is not punishable. The punishment you can get from morality is just that people can decide to disown you, or they will just make jest of you that you are not cultured. You are not, how do I put it? You are not cultured, you are not standard, you are not behaving like a normal person from this. For example, if you see a Yoruba man now that comes to an elderly person and just say good morning, or he say he was trying to greet without that person prostrating or kneeling, as we know in Yoruba land, that person will be seen as not having moral, because the moral system in our culture says that when you are greeting elderly person, you should show some sense of respect. I don't know what happens in other region anyway, but I'm just using that as an example. So when you say morality, it has to tell you that what is the standard that specify which one is right and which one is wrong. So it is different from law, because morality may not be written, but it is seen in our environment, and we learn it by custom, things we have been doing over time, and that is what they call. But if it is law, law is written and is punishable. So no law will punish morality, but anybody who goes against law will serve punishment as being a criminal. So in that wise, there are two different things entirely, but one leads to another. Our laws today were developed from the mores, from the moral standard of our society. That is why we cannot separate the two. For example, if somebody is drowning and you can swim, you can go into that river and save him. If you don't save him, you have committed moral crime. Nobody will jail you for that. But if you deliberately kill a man, you have committed crime. So there are two different that have different standard. So let's move on, please. Next slide. So you have some theories that talk of moral development. We have Kovacs, so development and obedience orientation, instrumental activist orientation. All those theories, they are just telling you how moral is developed. So it is not only Kovacs, we still have many other theories that talk of moral development. But any one of these theories, what they are just saying is that it is not something that you are born with. It is something that you are taking up from the environment. Let's go, please. So this one is stages of moral development also by Giglan. This Giglan talk of what the first thing is when you are coming up as a small child, what you say is that you are self-centered. You are selfish. You want everything to be yours alone. So that is the first stage of life, caring for oneself. As time goes on, you become an adult that will be asked to care for others. You will see reason why you should care for others. And later in life, it will become caring for self and others. That is the most simplest theory of how development are ever loved. It says you care for yourself at the beginning of your life. Later, you know how to care for others. Now, you have to be caring for yourself and for others. Yes, let's go. So we come to ethics of nursing. Like I said, ethics means different things to different people. But when we talk of professional ethics, we're talking of ethics, ethical standard of a particular profession. The do's and don'ts of a profession is a law on its own, because before you can practice that profession, you are signed a kind of warrant that you should be bounded by this law, and you will not act in contrary to those standards. It's a rule of regulation that guide a profession. So everybody that wants to be in that profession must submit him or herself to that profession and nothing else. So it helps you to practice profession. It helps you to understand the value attached to that profession. It also helps you to know the moral standard required of that profession. So there is nothing ethics of nursing lays untouched, because it is a standard book that will tell you how a nurse should behave in every situation. And anyhow, if you behave in contrary, it means you are ready to face professional sanction, which may involve even withdrawing your license from you temporarily or permanently, and remove your name from the list of nurses in the country where you are practicing. And that is what they call ethics. So nobody is to run anything foul of that ethics. Let's go. So ethics and law, like I've said, the nurse has a lot of issues to resolve. You resolve issue with your profession through ethics. Resolve issue with society through law. So if a nurse commits any professional misconduct in the hospital now, he has offended both the ethics and offended the law. So it is from the law that ethics will come up. But this ethics, because it is a written standard, it will be used to judge any nurse who has committed any crime. You can imagine what kind of crime a nurse can commit in the hospitals. A lot of them. But when we get to that area, we talk better on it. And because of time, we have to move. Okay, next slide. Ethics also have two types. You have personal and professional ethics. Our concern here is personal ethics anyway. Let's go. I've explained all this before. Copies of ethics, like I said, it says guideline. It informs you about the profession. It tells you what and what to do and what you are not supposed to do. And regulation of practice is based on this ethics. Nursing is a caring profession which has relevance and direct impact on the life, health, and well-being of individuals, families, and communities. It is therefore important to regulate that practice to ensure that standards are maintained to achieve a safe practice. Safe practice is the word there. Safe practice. Any practice that is unsafe has run far of nursing ethics and should be punished accordingly. Yeah, let's go. So credentialing has to do with how do you become a nurse? If you could remember, you have gone through some steps before you become a nurse. You have gone through sitting for the entrance examination to School of Nursing. You have gone through many examinations in School of Nursing. You've gone through weeding. You go through weeding, and then you have started for the Nurse and Council examination to get yourself registered into the council and now licensed to practice as a nurse. So, and before you can get all that, you must attend a school that has a full accreditation of the council to say, oh, you can train nurses. If not, it has been years of wasted effort. So all those are the factors that ensure credentialing. So let's move, please. I've been explained. All those have been explained. I've explained all that. And well, when you talk of standard of nursing practice, our concern is that when we say nursing is autonomous, autonomy of that nursing is actually defined by Canadian Nursing Association, and it involves the nursing process which we do in our clinical setting, which involves assessment, diagnosis, outcome identification, planning, implementation, and evaluation. So you have to understand this very well. And I believe that somebody will take you med surg will have taught you this or will teach you this later. Assessment, diagnosis, outcome identification, planning, implementation, evaluation, they are sine qua non to standard of nursing practice. Anybody who cannot do all this will not be regarded as a nurse. Let's go, cost of time. Now, this is pressure, education, collegiality, research, and resource utilization. So these are things that we have discussed before, and it borders on what we call duty of care that we owe to everybody that comes our way. Let's move. These are the rules of Nursing Council of Nigeria in regulating nursing practice in Nigeria. That means, like I told you, that they have to accredit a school that will produce nurses. If that school is not accredited, it cannot produce anybody. So, and they must from time to time regulate the practice. They must from time to time reaccredit those schools to see that they still meet up the standard in terms of resources, both human and material resources. So I think it's 2 years now that they do that accreditation to see whether you are still maintaining standard or not. And when you become a nurse, you are still under nursing council that will be licensing you every 3 years. And if you have any criminal charges against you, they have a committee that will discipline you, either to suspend your license for some time or they strike you out of the license entirely. So those are the roles they perform, and it's contained in this document. Let's go, please. Well, this is what I'm of implied care. I need to tell you that presently we have what they call consumers' rights, and then we have patient rights. Patient rights is just something that has come up in Nigeria factor, and it is based on nursing ethics also, because this right shows what are the things expected of you perform to your patient. And if those things are not performed, let us to claim those things from you. If they are claimed and it's not given, they can sue you and get justice from the court of law. Mind you, they are your clients and they have right to claim from you, and those rights must not be denied. That is why they have come to you. They are come to you because they know you can help them. If that help is not forthcoming, they have right to request for it at all costs. So the Bill of Rights will be something that you need to understand and study further. We send it to you so that we have the Bill of Rights as a particular document as passed by the Act of National Assembly recently. So you will see it, I think in 2015 or 2017 or so, you will see the bill. We will send it to you later. Let's go, please. Oh, don't worry. In your fright, you will send it, don't worry. You will get that one clearly. And then you will see that it has a lot of things that you need to understand and to understand them very well. So, field of healthcare, well, like we have said, every nurse will be able to provide safe and competent care at of alternative and outcome of nursing care, provide adequate supervision, evaluation of subordinates for whom you are responsible. So, and now listen to this. The standard of care by which you act or fail to act is legally defined by the Nurse Practice Act. When I was talking to you in the introductory part of this lecture, I said, when you talk of negligence, is the act of doing what a reasonable man will not do, or act of omitting what a reasonable man will do. Now look at this statement. Standard of care by which you act or fail to act is legally defined by the Nurse Practice Act. So which you act or fail to act define negligence and contains in the Nurse Practice Act. Let's continue, please. You get all that as we move on to the lecture. So as a student nurse, just know that when you are working in the clinical setting, like I said during your online lecture, you are not supposed to do anything except under supervision of a qualified nurse in that ward. Anything you do, you will be adjudged as a nurse because of the fact that the patient may not understand who a student nurse is. You see anybody in that ward at that particular time as nurses. So it is onus on you that you should not do anything without the consent of the staff nurse on duty. The fact that you are nurses before you come for a degree is not an issue. Now under us, you are learners. We call you, and you are students anyway. And as students, when you go to the world, you may be ADNS or DNS where you are coming from, but now you are students. When you come to the world, make sure you do everything under supervision of the staff nurse in that ward which you are posted. So you obtain informed consent. Yeah, this is a very stand area I want to talk about. When you talk of informed consent, many of you don't know that it is not only surgery that involves taking informed consent. There is no treatment you give to your patient that does not require taking informed consent. And what do they call informed consent? Don't worry, it is very simple thing, but it has elements that must be followed. The first element is that patient needs to have adequate information about the procedure they performed on him. You must tell him the benefit and the likely complication that may come from that procedure. You must give him alternatives to that procedure. If you don't do this, you can do this. You don't just enforce a procedure on a patient. Then when you have given all the information, you let him decide whether he wants it or he doesn't want it. That makes it an informed consent. Informed because he has adequate information about this procedure. And through his own processing, he believes that he still wants it. If he says he doesn't want it, he must not go ahead with that procedure. If he then gives you a consent, he can withdraw that consent and say, I'm not doing it again. And you cannot enforce it on that patient. Just have that in mind. And let me say that it is only a minor or mentally incompetent that could have a guardian to give consent on their behalf. A minor or mentally incompetent, they are referred to as incapable, and they must be assisted. So that is why they are separated from that. So it is your duty to ensure that they are adequately informed. If you don't inform them, definitely you have breached that duty and you can be punished for that. Part of negligence and part of it. I've said that earlier on. I've told you what is negligence. I've told you what negligence can lead into, and the element of negligence I've discovered that before at the first part of this lecture, where I told you that if you are holding a patient a duty of care and you breach that duty, that breach may result into damage. And I've given you a sample of that care. I say a patient is placed on the couch without side raise, is restless, and they fall down the couch, sustain head injury. You know, your duty of care is that you should place that patient on the couch with side raise. You breach it for not putting him there, and they fall down. That is sustaining head injury, which means he has sustained damage because you are trying to perform your duty as a nurse. So that is what they call negligence. I've talked about that much before. Okay, let's go. Because of time, like I told you before, content before we had called that, yes, international thoughts. Okay, let me say that there are some times we may have to talk of intentional thoughts. And well, you need to understand one thing clearly. In law, there are ways and manner they classify a kind of offense anyone has committed or will commit. You have a civil offense, you have criminal offense. Some offenses that are classified under civil, they are offenses that has to do with man-to-man relationship. They are civil because it is interaction between man and man that has led to that offense. So around that is where you have the law of thought. And thought could be intentional or unintentional. At times you commit a thought without you knowing. At times you commit it and you know. For example, when you commit assault and battery on patient, it is a thought that is intentional. For example, you tell the patient, take your drug. If you don't take this drug, I force it on you. Take your injection. If you take injection, I will give you by force. And truly you are doing it. By the time you are threatening that patient, you are committing assault. By the time you commit that particular thing you are threatening on, you are committed battery. So they are both punishable because they are called intentional. But you can have what they call forced imprisonment. It means that, okay, for example, let me remind you of a case that came up in this paper about 6-7 months ago when a patient went to court to challenge an hospital for delaying him in the hospital for not paying the hospital bill. And hospital was charged for forced imprisonment. You don't admit patient against his own wish. You don't, when they say, I'm going home is called what they call DAMA, or what to call it now. I don't know what to call it now, but it's DAMA. When you say DAMA or LAMA, living against medical advice, you say, don't go because you are not yet certified okay to go home. I tell you, I want to go. So he has right of autonomy to say he want to go. And if you keep him in that hospital after that statement, you are imprisoning that patient falsely. They call it forced imprisonment. And this is a thought that is punishable by law. He can sue you and get damages from you because he has right to take up the care or refuse the care at any point in time. By the time he says, I don't want your care again, you cannot enforce that care on him. Is that right? So let's move, please. So you have some legal protection as nurses. Protection, but let me tell you that the protection you have mostly is that you must provide safe care. Because others that you may have here are just periphery that is not as sound as you having in mind the need to provide a safe care. Whether you are providing the care under the directive of a physician or not, it's not anybody's headache. Because if a doctor prescribes a drug wrong under any condition, you cannot give that drug wrongly because you know and you must seek clarification. So that one is not a problem. The problem there is that you are carrying out physician order without you questioning what is questionable. You just say, somebody now comes to the world now, I prescribe paracetamol to this 2-year-old baby. It's moving tablets, 2 tablets of paracetamol for this baby of 2 years. And I say because doctor has said it, I should give. No, you need to question that kind of order and seek clarification about it before it could be given. And then you stand your feet. I cannot give that kind of, because it means you are competent. You know what you are doing. Then, in overseas country, they take insurance coverage. That is liability insurance, so that they can mitigate your loss when you are involved in a personal malpractice. In fact, there is nowhere you can practice overseas without you having insurance. Nobody will employ you because that coverage is there to cover the hospital and cover you in case of any litigation against your practice. Yeah, let's go. So, but if you are working at emergency, you should have to do that, to know that you should give first aid to the level of your coverage. You can do that. You don't perform any action that you don't know, and don't do anything outside the field of your practice. So, but the thing is, you don't leave that scene of incident until you have seen additional help or patient have been taken to where he can get further assistance. So this is what we call Good Samaritan law. That as a Good Samaritan, as a nurse, when you are at the scene of accident, you just need to stop. When you stop, do what you can do to give first aid. Assist them, rescue them, ensure that you don't leave that scene until additional help come. Maybe ambulance has come to pack them to the hospital, or you use your own personal hotel to the hospital. Because Good Samaritan law, because you're not doing it for any financial gain. So that is what they call Samaritan law. So to maintain your competency in the field of that practice, there are things you need to do. You need to function well within your level of your education. You must know the job description and understand the Nurse Practice Act very well. Nurse Practice Act is not in Nigeria, but at least we have adopted the UK standard in some instances. So the agency that employs you has some policies and standards. You must follow it. If you follow it, you are not liable. You must maintain. You build and maintain good rapport with your patient. You keep them informed about diagnosis. Let them know what is being done for them, and then you can now use that to assist them. Then we have to look at the ethical principle, and we look at the ethical dilemma. Yeah, like I told you, yes, let's move, please. Because of time, we have to move. Oh, okay. Ethical problems in nursing. Well, like I told you before, that ethical principles are the foundation for professional practice. It is through that principle that ethics is developed. And ethical principle developed from autonomy of the patient, beneficence on the part of the nurses, non-maleficence on our part, confidentiality on our part, justice on our part, and a lot of all those things are there that that form basis for that issue. But mind you, I will just use 2 of them to tell you where you can have ethical dilemma. Let us say, patient says, I want to die. your ethics says you should provide beneficence. That is, do something that will benefit the patient and practice non-maleficent, something that must not harm the patient. But he now says he wants to die. He now says, assist me to get injection or drugs that will make me die. People will come to you and say, this woman has been giving us for all the life. Help us to give him a drug that will make him go. Now, you have a ethical dilemma. Patient want to die. You must not allow him to die. Patient want to go against medical advice, and you are saying should not go because it's not okay. That is why you have ethical dilemma. And that dilemma must be resolved. If not resolved, you are going to be in that problem for long. So the problems that may arise in the health sector are so numerous to mention, and it is between the patient autonomy and professional's beneficence right that you must do anything that will benefit the patient for him. And patient says he doesn't want. He wants something that will kill him. I must not kill him. So in that way, you have a lot of issues to resolve. So category of ethical problems are many. Paternalism is there. When you are taking over the role of being the father of the patient and you are deciding for him. No, it's an ethical problem. Deception is there. A parent is nursing terminal disease like cancer, and you know that it's an stage problem. And it's asking you, will I die? Will you tell him he will die? If you tell him he will not die, you are deceiving him because you know that condition is hopeless, that he will die. So it's a problem, a dilemma, deception. Then area confidentiality. Oh, when you discuss patient problem among yourselves, you discuss among others. Oh, you see that man on that bed, it's a case of this, is that. So it is like divulging information that he has confided in you to somebody else who has something to do with his care. It may be a nurse. If it's not a nurse nursing that patient, you must not give out that information. How do you allocate your nursing resources? Like I said, we are doing eye services. When you see somebody who is highly placed society come to the hospital, you give more. You give more time. You go to him, you hear, have you eaten? Have you done? Have you done this? Have you done this? But when you somebody who is not known, a lone ranger, if he likes, he should eat. If he doesn't like, he should not eat. You are not concerned. You are not giving them adequate care in the same manner. You are placing them based on their level in society, nothing frowns at that. So, nurses versus client interest, that is a problem. A client wants this, a nurse wants this. Which one should override each other? Then you have nurse incompetence. Yes, some nurses are incompetent. The fact remains that the way they practice profession shows they lack adequate knowledge of what they are doing. They are not your decision in nursing. So, and that decision should be rational. Rational because it is based on universal model principle of framework, a theory to follow your decision you are making. I'm following this theory in making this decision. And that decision will be right because it has been seen as evidence-based practice. So when you are confronted with ethical dilemma, the value should be in your mind. Your own value is there, present value is there. See where those values can work together. See where they cannot work together, and do not enforce your own value on that patient. If not, you are committing another crime. Be familiar also with code of ethics. Respect the value, opinions of others. Do not just impose your own value on them. Yes, let's move because of our time. Well, we have some models in medical decision making. Thompson and Thompson is there. Cassius and Redmond is there. Sally and Lawrence is there. There are three models that are good, but me, I think I like to discuss mostly on Sally and Lawrence because I know it's very simple model anyway, because it tells you that when you have a ethical dilemma, there are ways you can go at it. The first thing is that you must acknowledge that there's a problem. Verify what that problem is. So that one will tell you how to solve that problem. Let's go and see what is written there. Anything there again? Oh, those are you have come? Okay. I told you that I love this one much because it's very simplified and very straightforward theory. Understand that problem exists. Gathering data, information about that problem. I define the course of action. Then make a choice. That choice you make should be communicated to others and will be implemented. You will now come back to evaluate whether that choice you have made are going to solve that problem or not. So that is what Sally and Lawrence model has said. Is the most simplest of the theories that I have discussed resolving ethical dilemma, and it's very interesting theory. Yes, what next? Don't worry, just look for that. They are more or less complicated, and they are just saying the same thing and saying it in different way. This one will say, identify the moral aspect of nursing care, deliver information, all those things, just leave the place and go otherwise. Even with Thompson and Thompson theory, they are also saying the same thing. You can move, please. Yes? Go. Well, I know you have benefited much from this lecture, and I want to listen to your questions, if any. And my guy is also in the house, the man who taught you majorly online, and will also be with me to attend to your questions. Well, once again, I want to wish you success in your forthcoming examination. Your question, please.
Okay, your question, you don't even have name. But what's Mr. Bushari?
Yes, I'm with you. Yes, I'm here.
Are you using system or you are using phone?
Okay.
I'm using phone.
Mr. Adeleke. Mr. Adeleke.
I'm using phone.
I heard you. Mr. Adeleke, are you using system or you are using phone?
Using phone.
The issue is this. I need to go now to attend to some people that are having the issue with the exam. So, and I don't know how you will be allow them to talk one by one. If I unmute all of them now, they'll be making noise. So 2 people are asking questions now.
Yes.
So can you manage on how to unmute them to talk? You are already host.
Hello, please give us 5 minutes before you go.
If there's more than 5 minutes, then I can't take it. Okay. Okay.
Please.
Your question.
You can't control it.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for the lectures. I really enjoyed it, sir.
Please
sir,
go
please,
my
question is that, okay, the exam, is it going to be theory-based or MCQ, sir?
Every aspect.
That's for James.
The exam is multiple choice, true and false, fill in the gap, and short essay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
It's not for me. So,
Lopez, your question, please.
Oh, Princess.
Your question.
Good morning.
Princess,
thank you, sir. My question has been answered.
Okay. What else?
Princess, your question. Princess.
There's another person. Okay. Go to come in.
What did you say? Talk now.
Yes, for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oluwaseyi Bolatito,
Yes, sir.
your
Please,
question.
I want to ask that, can we make use of Windows 8 or Windows
The
7?
exam is
If you
from
don't
Windows
exam-
7, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. You can use any.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I think that we don't have question now. How question belongs to
Galaxy,
you?
do you know what? Let me do it this way. I think you don't have question pertaining to this course. Hello? You don't have question pertaining to this course. If you have any question, you can
Hello.
reach your facilitator online. You can communicate with them. But concerning the exam, before next week that you start your exam, you can see from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, their exam preparation. You'll be fully involved. But the basic thing is this: you are using system. Your system must be either Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. So, and you must have webcam, good one. With that, you're able to do your exam. So, thank you. Do you have, Mr. Abusa, do you have anything to say before we end the class?
No. If you have any question through the WhatsApp or whatever. Hello, there's another person.
Okay.
Mr. Abusari.
Ask your question.
Mr. Abusari. Please,
Hello.
the boss secretary
Yes,
wants to address them before we call it a day. So, boss secretary, ma.
Okay. Good morning to you all.
They can hear you,
I
ma.
am welcoming you. Hope they can hear me.
They can hear you.
Oh, that's great. Good morning to you all. I am welcoming you back to school on behalf of the director of the center, Professor Oti Arulogo. Is happy with you. I can see we have about 856 participants on this meeting, and that is highly encouraging. And I believe that at the end of the program, you will all laugh. He who laugh last best. And I pray that you will make it at the end of it. I just want to allay your fear concerning the issue of your remaining school fees that you are unable to pay. If it is as a result of online, keep on trying till when you will start your exam by next week. And if it is due to lack of a payment of a salary as a result of this pandemic that is ravaging the whole world, you will be allowed to do your exam. Since I know you cannot owe us, all this problem will soon be over. And by the time you'll be coming for first semester 2021, 2022, you must have made the payments and we will gladly take it. So please don't be panic. This issue of I'm unable to print this receipt, that should not be your problem. Once we know the genuinity of your complaints, you won't be disturbed. I just want to solicit once again for your cooperation. The technical teams, they are trying their best. In fact, they are wonderful. Your facilitators this morning, Mr. Deleke and Mr. Busari, they have truly tried. And I say thank you to them. To all of you, our wonderful students, I say thank you for choosing LAUTECH. You will not regret you ever choose us. You shall excel in all your undertakings. Thank you, Engineer James, the moderator of this gathering. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma. So,
thank you, ma. We appreciate you.
If you have any further question, you can direct it to what do you call it? Any of your e-tutor.
Can we leave?
That one is not.